Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. This is a beginner level project and let me explain what that will mean today. Also, we're going to be just working our way through this project. This is a really great starting project for anybody that wants to learn crochet for the first time. So let me go through the parameters of what it means to be a beginner and then we're gonna kick off from that point. So this is a beginner level pattern. Basically it's the same row repeating over and over, and each of these stripes are 6 rows. So when I say beginner, it means that you already know how to hold the yarn in your hand and the hook. So we have beginning tutorials for that. Let me put a link in the more information of this video where you can actually find the workshop of learning crochet right from scratch if that's of your interest. So I'm going to be also giving you a tip on how to keep counts for these things, and it's gonna be really quite an easy thing. Also in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to change the yarn when it's midway through, because as a new crocheter I always felt like I had to change the yarn on the end and I would waste so much yarn. So I'm gonna show you how to change it midway. I'm also gonna show you how to change it at the ends in order to make it work. There's also some strands here, some fringe. We have videos available for the fringing that you'll see on the blanket, and overall it's actually a pretty easy project and it's a really maybe good time waster too. Maybe you're stuck at home, or maybe you got somebody that's at home, or like a organization, instead of actually being out there they're schooling from home. Maybe this gives a sense of being connected to something. So without further ado, you'll use a 5.5mm size eye crochet hook in order to play, and then of course Red Heart Super Saver. So let's begin. When we're going to do this, this is a beginner level written pattern, so there's extra explanations that are provided in here that are not normally in a pattern. For example, right side with the RS is normally right side, and if you look at the stitch key up here you will notice that right side equals there. So they're just giving you that extra help that you need just so that you can see things and being able to do it. When you chain 3 in a pattern, for example, that means that you're going to double crochet when you go to chain up, and we'll be talking about that as well. You will notice that we are going to do some back looping. So back looping creates the texture. So if you really look at this you can see the shadowing of the texture, and once we get to understand that, it's really quite easy to be able to follow along. So let's begin. This pattern can be done in any size, but they're suggesting to go 132 loosely with your hook. So usually when you're a beginner you're kind of tight, and if you have a problem with being too tight, what you can do is that you can increase your hook size, go up bigger, because then that if you're tighter then the stitches will stay a little more open for you, and when you switch back to your 5.5mm size eye, that you'll probably be okay too. So without further ado, let's begin. So we also have beginning tutorials available for how to create a slip knot. It's the starting knot. Keep it a little bit of a longer tail. You'll use a tapestry needle to hide that in later. You can weave it in with your hook, but it always falls out, so if anybody tells you otherwise. So let's just wrap the yarn around our finger. So remember there's slower tutorials available for this, and we're gonna play leapfrog. So we're gonna take the back one, so if you just want to see that again, so just put up your finger and just wrap like this and then pinch it like fist it. So we're going to play leapfrog. We're going to pull the yarn over top of the first one but not right over, and then we're gonna take the new one and jump over the landing of the board like this. So I call it like leapfrog. So here we go. So we're gonna wrap, play leapfrog. So this one is gonna leap over the other frog, and this one is so excited to leap that when he jumps over the other one he falls off the edge of the cliff and he goes right up over top of the finger. We're going to slip in our hook at this point and then pull it. When you go to pull it, don't be too manic about it, just kind of pull it, but it's kind of loose on there. So you're gonna chain 132. So just rowboat, okay, this is called yarning over. So yarn over, so rowboat, scoop it and rotate the hook towards you and then pull, and it has to be facing down. So make sure it's facing down, because this stitch when you pull down forms a teardrop, and by pulling it down you can just open it up. So that's 1. So scoop and 2. So yarn over and 3, yarn over 4, and just keep yarning over and just do a little bit of practice. Just take your time, and each one is a count. So you'll just chain to 132. So to put me on pause, you can make your 132 or you can practice doing the chain, and when we come back in just a moment I'll show you what to do next. So you ready to go for row number 1? Let's get ourselves established. This is a double crochet row. They're all double crochet, but once we get to the second row there's double crocheting in a special way. So when we're gonna go 4th chain from the hook, we're just going to count back. See this one where it's popping out right there? That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. 1, 2, 3. And it says to double crochet 4 chain from the hook, so then you got to go to the 4th, and a way to get a really nice edge is to be able to go to the 4th but go to the back hump and watch what happens. So we're gonna yarn over, so just scoop it and going right into that back part right here. And what that does is it turns the chain upside down so that you have a perfect looking edge. So once you insert in, you're gonna yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 2. That's a double crochet. So this chain that we just skipped over and this one are now 2 double crochets on your chain. Now that you've gone in the back, do you see that it looks like a serpent's back? So you got the points coming up, those are where you're going to play. My mom never taught me to do that, and so I was always getting my chain really confused. So just look for the back hump. So yarning over, so scoop it and go into the next one. Just look for the next serpent's back. It's like the Loch Ness Monster. And pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Let's try again. So yarn over, go to the next one. You can see where it is, and you'll probably be a little bit tighter than me, but that's okay. Let's practice. And so you're just gonna keep double crocheting all the way down your chain. So now's the time to put me on hold and just work your way down your chain with doing a double crochet in the back hump, basically the serpent's back or the Loch Ness Monster. I'll see you at the end of your chain. Please put me on pause now. For those that are getting close to the end of the chain, where is that end of the chain? I'll show you in just a moment. My fingers are in the way at the moment, and there's actually technically only one more left, and you see it there. So when you go into that last one here, if you pull this knot a little tighter, see, done. So you can see that it looks quite nice. Yours may not be this organized. That's okay. You're learning. It's a beginner. So we're gonna turn our work and begin row number 2, and row number 2 is what we're gonna be doing for the entire blanket. Okay, this is called a throw, and what we're going to do is the same thing for every row. So each one of these colors are gonna be made up, or each stripe is made up of 6 rows. So this is 1, and you'll see 2, and you'll be able to count that. So in row number 2, watch what we're going to do. We're gonna chain 3, which will count as a double crochet. So it's technically the first stitch. So 1, 2, 3. And that is the first one. See how this one matches this one? So your next one is going to match above. So we're gonna go into the back loop sewing, which will give you a bit of texture. So if you're new to crochet, when you go and look at the stitch, if you use both, that's a stitch. But if you just use the front one here, that's a front loop. And if you just use the back one, that's a back loop. So we're gonna play with the back loops for the entire afghan now going forward. So when you wrap the hook to do a double crochet, instead of going right into the stitch, and if you feel like going right into the stitch because you don't want to bother with the back loop, then by all means it'll still work. So just go into the back loop only. It just means if you go into the regular stitch, you will not have texture, that's all. So you go into the back loop only, pull through 2 and 2, and you will notice that you'll see a ridge forming immediately. And you're going to go all the way across with double crochet in the back loop only. Do you see that? So row number 2 is the entire idea of going back and forth now for the remaining of the blanket. So it's called normally in crochet, blankets are normally called afghans. When it's a throw size for your sofa, or what you see with the girl with the blanket, or the model with the blanket, that's a throw size. And then when you get to afghans like bedspreads and all that jazz. So you're seeing that there's a groove happening. Now as a new crocheter, what you're going to screw up on, if you are going to screw up, will be the ending. So I'm going to go into the next one, and this is where people think that they need to stop because it looks like it's close. But in actual fact, that chaining that we did, that I skipped over, we also want to concentrate on that. That's a stitch 2. Look at how the stitches are lined up if you just look directly below. So that means that this has nothing above. So you're still gonna wrap the hook and go into the back loop only of that turning chain and do a double crochet, and then you get a flat edge. So let's review again. So you're gonna turn your work and do exactly what I just showed you. This is a double-sided project, so both sides will have texture. So chain 3 to begin, and then you'll come immediately to the next one because this one matches this. Do you see that? So you come immediately to the next one and back loop only, double crochet. And now this is going to make the texture on this side of the blanket. That's why it can be turned over. And you're just gonna go in the back loops only all the way across. So I'll quieten it up and just keep showing. So as we come up to the end, don't forget that turning chain is a stitch 2. So you see the apartment buildings, they're stacked. This one has nothing on top, so you gotta go into the back loop of that one, and then you'll have a nice flat edge. So this row that I'm about to show you, so you can, how many rows do you see? So 1, 2, 3. So you want a total of 6 rows complete. So you'll notice that it will start off with 6 rows of red, and then it goes to gray, and then the very ending of the blanket will end in 6 rows of red. So if you just want to keep it like that. So what we're going to do in this particular row is that, for example, let's just say we're running out of yarn here and you want to switch to a new ball. I'm going to show you how that's done in the middle of a row, but I'll also show you how it's done at the end of the row when you're actually doing the striping. So let's just start up as normal, and you're noticing you're coming to the end of the ball. As a crocheter, we don't want to waste yarn. When you waste yarn, you feel like you're really wasting yarn. So you're just gonna go and you keep crocheting until you get that strand to be a little bit shorter. So in this case, this is how long I want it. So in order to get the new yarn to work, I'm gonna wrap the hook, and I'm still gonna do the back loop, and I'm gonna pull through, but I'm gonna hold it. Okay, so you wanna hold it. I'm gonna grab the other yarn, and I create a slip knot because I'm a little paranoid of things falling out. A slip knot permanently locks the stitch. So I want to put it onto the hook, and instead of using the yarn that I had been using, I want to let that stay to the back and pull through with the new yarn and finish the double crochet with the new yarn. And what this is doing is that it's leaving the tail of the new yarn plus also leaving the tail of the old yarn, and I want to double crochet into the next stitch. So pull things tight so it looks the same. So coming to the next one, the next back loop, when I wrap the hook, I want to go into the stitch, but I want to make sure that these 2 strands are right up over top of the needle, so when I pull this through, it locks it underneath the stitch. And I double crochet that as normal, and I want to do that for about 2 inches. So leaving it on top, and you're also going to do that same technique if you're ever changing on the end. Now if you really don't want the strands to fall out, after you get about 2 inches done, what I would do if I were you and you or me, I would just kind of just tug on them, snug a little bit, and let them fall to the back side of the project and continue just to crochet as normal. And I would address that on the next turn of your blanket. And we put it to the back side base so it's out of our visual view right now so that we can finish the rest of this row. And then I'm gonna show you what to do with those tails in just a moment. So just coming all the way to the end, don't forget that turning chain. So what I want to do, I just want to lay this down, so turn the work and just lay it down, and you can see these 2 in here. Now in crochet sometimes you can actually just trim that and it will never fall out, but if you're really new and you're really concerned, what you can do is put each strand on a tapestry needle and just drag it underneath. So just go around on back. So make sure that when you did that, see how it's coming out of this one here? I want to go into the next one and go back for about 1.5 inches. And I want to go back and I want to pull. This is called a wool needle, by the way. People ask me what this is. And then I want to go back in the other direction. So I'm just making sure I don't go in the exact same path so it doesn't pull out. And as soon as that's done, I can just take that strand and I can trim it. And then I do the same with the next one. So some projects you have to do this with the tapestry needle, and other projects you can get away with just doing what I just showed you and hiding it underneath. It depends on your application and what you're doing. Like if you're gonna throw it through a washing machine, absolutely I would recommend you do that. When you go to do this, make sure that you kind of pull on things to make sure that it settles down and that you're not changing the shape, and you can just trim it right out, and therefore you've just changed out your yarn. And once you keep on moving, so chaining up 3 to begin, you will probably never notice it that it's there. It takes a little bit of practice, but you're good to go. So what I'll do is that I will go to the end of this and I would just finish off and get my 6 rows, and then I'll show you what it's gonna be like once we change the color and continuing to work on the back loop. So continue to get your 6 rows complete. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on the 5th, and I'll see you when the 6th is done. So I'm now just finishing my 6th row, and I'm gonna switch to the new color. So I'm going to go into my last turning chain. Now what I like to do for myself is that I like to finish this off completely. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna trim my yarn, and by pulling it through the loop it permanently locks that in a position. It's really hard to get out. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna just go into the top of the next one, and I'm just gonna pull that yarn strand through, and I'm gonna do about 2 inches. And the next time that we're going across this, I'm going to make sure that it gets stuck underneath those new stitches that I'm about to form. And because I need to turn the project in order to go back, when I go to turn the project then to start, I want to keep that straggler on the back side. It's out of my vision. And I'm gonna grab some new yarn, and we're going to begin again. So to begin again, we're going to create a slip knot. So this is what it's like to change the yarn at the end of a row. And you want to go into the first one here, but you want to go into the back loop only of that turning chain. So normally you don't have to worry about that if you're keeping the color the same. So just coming through, so just attach it and then chain 3, and guess what, that's your first double crochet. And in the back loop you want to go into the back, or the double crochet in the back loop. Here's the trick, that thing that I just had you do, that weaving in and out, so it's right here. I can see it as an experienced crocheter. It's right there. So when I go and dive in, I want to trap that strand too with that back loop, and that will get both of those stuck. Well, sorry, it will get that yarn stuck into position, so it'll be grabbed on by this stitch, and therefore I will never have to use a tapestry needle. And if, of course, and if you're feeling like you need to, by all means just let it go to the back side, and then you can secure that with the tapestry needle at the end. And you're just gonna work with your back loops all the way. So you're gonna do 6 rows then of this color, and then you're gonna switch out again and use the other color for another 6 rows, and your whole blanket will be done this way. So just keep an eye on that. So if I started off with the purple, I'll go to this pink, and then purple, pink, purple, and then the other side of the afghan. Make sure that the last 6 are the same color, just for balance, but if it's not, it's okay too. And of course you can use as many colors as you wish. So I'm gonna leave that for you, and then at the end of the project, let's just say that we're at the end. I'm gonna show you how to finish off. So you're gonna come into your turning chain, and let's just say that I have my 6 done. So to finish off completely at the end, you don't want to just weave it in. I used to do that when I was a beginner, and everything would always fall out. So I'm gonna lock it, so pull it through, and then grab that tapestry needle again. And here's what you're going to do. Take that strand and drag it up underneath the stitches. Don't mess with the edge. So just come across, so once, and when you do it the first time, make sure that you keep the shape, and then go through a second time, so a slightly different path. Just stay right up underneath that row, so twice, and then 3 times. 3 times is the perfect time, and therefore that will never fall out on the edge. And you're also going to do that with your starting strand. So when you have the starting strand, you can do the same with that. So anything, if you decided to bury it up over top and don't want to use a tapestry needle, you should be able to cut that. Just pull on it a little bit. Does it fall out? Yes or no? And if it doesn't, then you're good to go. Let me show you how to quickly do the fringe, and then we'll leave you for that today. To do the fringe, you have to decide which side of your blanket you like the best. It's pretty much the same. So you have just to favor the one side. So if this is the good side, favor this side, and when you go to do the fringe on the other side, you turn it around and you work with this side. So you have to use the same side when you're going to do this. You're going to take the colors A and B if you'd like to do the fringe, and you want to measure a total of 8 inches with this. So take both strands together, and this is 8 inches. Just as a crocheter, I know that. So I'm just gonna do this. Even if it's a little bit longer, you can trim it at the end. And you're gonna trim them both together so that they're the same, and you're gonna fold it in half. Now what you're going to do is at the end of the row, or like at the end on both sides, you'll get to both sides, you're just gonna go into a regular stitch, and you're gonna just grab the loop and pull through, and then you're gonna just pull up enough that you can get your fingers in there, and if you want to use your hook you can, and then you're gonna pull that strand here through that loop, and this crossing over is gonna lay in the front. This is why you need to worry about what side it is. So in order to do the next one, again, if you want to add more strands you can, so you can add more, get more fluff if you want to. Okay, it's only suggesting to do 2. What I would do if I were you and you were me, I would just do a whack of them and line them up, and then when you're ready for them, just grab them up and fold and go to your next stitch. You can go every other stitch too. It's just whatever you want to do. If you're considering washing this on a frequently basis, I would probably leave off the fringe, but that's your call. So coming then, pull the loop and then pull this strand through, and then this crossing over will be on the front side. Once you have this all the way done across, you're just gonna kind of comb it down, and you kind of want to get those even, so you can just then, once the whole row is done, just lay it over top of a counter, let them dangle, and where they dangle is where you're going to cut. So you just come up with the amount of inches that you want it to be. So if you want it shorter, just be shorter, and therefore all your fringe can then be the same. So this is how to do this. This is a beginner level. This is a School Spirit Throw by yarnspirations.com. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's tutorial. Leave me a comment if this is something that interests you, and until next time, have a good one, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.